right, we are back with our great guest, Cristie Remmel, today. If you were watching before, we started diving into, the things that Cristie had to do to, perform at the standards of Marine Corps men recruits at the time. And there were only 3 women in her entire group. So this intrigues me because we see a lot today as a patriot. I wear cowboy boots. I didn't wear combat boots. I read a lot of articles on military.com and things of that nature where you see standards being changed or lowered across the board, not just for women. So share with us here again, what you had to go through to accomplish what you did.
Well, the physical aspect of it was the female Marine Corps standards, right? But the duties of a male corpsman, we had to pass to those standards, right? So it was like carrying people on the stretcher, patching them up, anything that had to do medical saving techniques. Obviously the standard is the same no matter who you are, right? But we had to carry the ruck packs fully loaded with all of our medical supplies, and on top of that, your own personal supplies when you're out in the field with the Marines, right? So those were not concessions that we were given, but it was hard. I'm not going to discount it. The physical aspect of it was very, very, very hard. But I was a lot younger. So I was okay. Kind of like young and stupid, right? And we just did it.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, it shows the stick to itiveness, the fortitude, the fire in the belly, whatever you want to call it, that failure's not an option. My dad and I always say, in any business we've ever owned or operated, that you're going to see us at the top of the mountain or dead on the side from trying, because we're not coming back down. And it really sounds like that's what you were doing. So how long were you in the Navy/Marine Corps?
Just 4 years. So I just did one tour of duty because most females will sacrifice their career, their life, what they want to do for family, right? So I met the father of my children. He had already been in longer than I did. So when we discussed it, I ended up getting out and he stayed in. So he went on to retire and I became a stay-at-home mom. So I only did 4 years.
Okay. And one question I or something I meant to ask you was explain to people, I didn't cover it, but you were an FMF corpsman. So because we're going to put that in the show notes. So just explain to people what that is and why that is so much more, I don't want to say so much more special, but different than just a normal corpsman in the service.
Well, a normal corpsman is a Navy medic, right? So they're always on what they call the blue side, which is the Navy, right? So the hospitals or the clinics on either a naval base or a Marine Corps base. An FMF corpsman is a Fleet Marine Force corpsman or medic. So that is somebody that has trained and is embedded to be out in the field with the Marines. So whether in time of war or peace, there is always a corpsman with the Marines, and you basically become a Marine because you have to pass like the PT standards with the Marines. You have a choice, and I did. Your choice is to just carry your little handgun that is the standard issue, or you carry the weapon that the Marines give you, right? So I chose, or you don't carry a weapon at all, because corpsmen have that choice. So I decided that I was going to carry my gun, and I was also going to carry a rifle. Because if I'm going to be somewhere where my life or the life of a Marine is going to be at stake, I will defend myself and the Marines, right? So that's the difference. So an FMF corpsman is somebody that has gone through the training to pass Marine Corps standards.
Okay, well, thank you for explaining that, because for all the patriots out there like myself that may not know what that meant, wanted to let them know. Another thing, you said in a meeting that we were in a couple of weeks ago about how you see people now doing all the CrossFit and everything, and they're wearing these weighted vests and they're running up hills and everything. And you said, I did enough of that and got paid for it. You didn't want to do it anymore. Explain to people, because I don't. I have a rough idea personally, just because I am surrounded by veterans on a regular basis. For everybody out there that doesn't understand, when they hear about vets talking about their bad backs, bad knees, ankles, explain to them really the kind of weight that y'all are carrying around, because you had two sets. You had the normal ruck, as you said, and then your equipment you had to carry. What kind of weight are our men and women out there carrying right now?
It's really 50 to 70 pounds that you carry. I'm only 5'3". I'm not even like that tall. Now I gotta say though that the Marines did treat me very well. So a lot of the times I didn't carry my full ruck packs, right? Unless we absolutely had to. My gear, I carried my medical supplies with me, but my personal gear either went on somebody's like one of the military vehicles, like with the supplies and stuff, right? Because what I had to carry was the medical supplies. And depending on where you're going and how much you pack, that could be 50 pounds by itself, right? And so when we were out with the Marines, my personal gear got put in the one of the vehicles, and then I just carried my own, right? Um, and so when people go, oh, we're gonna go do some parkour and we're gonna put weighted vests and we're gonna be running, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I already have two bad knees, a bad ankle, and a bad back, and two bad shoulders, all thanks to our military. I don't need to be doing anything else. Been there,
Yeah.
done it. I don't. I mean, it's fun in my head, but I don't want to do
Yeah,
it.
you definitely bought that t-shirt, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
for
so
sure.
when I see other people doing that kind of stuff, I was like, yeah, that looks great. It's so much fun. But no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you've been there and done that for sure, and we thank you for it. So,
Yeah.
really, on average, let's just say, I mean, obviously, this will vary from person to person, but not only medics, because it just shows that chivalry does still exist even in the service. Because obviously, the important things you were carrying were the medical supplies. I mean, the
Right.
other stuff, not that it wasn't important, but the medical supplies, if it hit the fan, that was the really important stuff you needed. So that's to say that, I guess, again, depending on the size of the person, though, the average military person out there in the field is darn near carrying their body weight on their back. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. The minimum is 50 pounds. Yes. But most people will carry more because depending on what they're having to pack to go out in the field or go on a deployment or whatever they're doing. It's anywhere between 50 to 70 pounds
Okay,
that you're
yeah,
carrying on your back. Yeah. That's why
right.
we all have back issues.
That makes sense. Makes perfect sense. And depending on what, like you said, depending on what your job is, you might be carrying more,
Right.
than the next person next to you. If you're a machine gunner and you're carrying, the what used to be an M60 that's now updated, and versus just your M4. There's going to be a big weight difference. All the ammo you got to carry and everything else. So that understands. So for everybody out there that is a civilian that hears veterans complaining about backs, knees, and ankles and shoulders, as you say, they're not just complaining to be complaining, folks. They're basically carrying you on their back on almost a daily basis in terms
Right.
of weight of equipment.
Yeah.
All right, we want to take just one more break here, and then we want to get into life after service, what you're doing now with the chamber, your personal business, and just those kind of things. So I want to get into that. So what we're going to talk about here for this commercial break is what we're going to dive into next. Cristie is the president of the DFW Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and that's who we're wanting to support here today. We, the Veterans Rancher members there, and we encourage you, if you have a business, they meet virtual, they meet into, if you are even not in the DFW areas, you all know I'm in Lakeland. Okay. I'm a hop, skip, and a jump from Dallas, Fort Worth area. But, they welcome us in, and they are great people to organize with and do business with. So if you are looking for a fantastic business networking organization that is surrounded by veterans and proud patriots like myself and want to get involved and support the veteran community, then we want you to go to dfwveteranschamber.org today. You can talk with Cristie and other of the board members there as well. Again, dfwveteranschamber.org. Make sure to check them out, and we'll be right back.